Jake Paul has got a pro license. You can gauge Jake Paul's actual skill level by looking at his opponents. His real skill level is basically 50-year-old man tier. He'd be ranked outside the top 100 in the welterweight division. He's essentially an athletic amateur boxer, but in the pro world, not everyone holding a license is actually an expert. This time, facing one of the world's top heavyweights, it's practically a sanctioned murder. Luckily, Jake Paul knew the check must have cleared early. Joshua only dared to aim for the gloves. He was throwing punches at 0.75x speed. Aside from hitting the gloves, he was just aiming for the shoulders. He wouldn't dare touch Jake Paul's head. Even being that careful, Joshua got tagged in the face by a stray jab from Paul. Joshua's swings were incredibly cautious. Meanwhile, Paul looked stiff and hesitant. He was pulling his punches halfway through the motion, terrified that one counter from Joshua would end his life right there. The first few rounds were just running and clinching. He even tried a takedown. The form was solid, but he couldn't move him. The weight difference is just too massive. Joshua tossed him aside like a garbage bag, very casually threw him to the ground. Paul only dared to jab at the body, and he'd sprint 6 feet away before the punch even landed. It was like there was an invisible wall between them. Neither wanted to get close, one afraid of accidentally killing the other afraid of dying. Joshua's chin isn't considered the absolute ironclad tier in the heavyweight division, but he ate Jake Paul's full power, overhand like he was slapped by a plastic bag. Absolutely zero reaction. Someone watching Joshua for the first time might question the champ's skills. Why is he whiffing so many shots? Why is he so slow? He looked like a bodybuilder trying boxing for the first time. There are 2 reasons he looked like that. 1, to drag the fight out and give the fans a show. 2, to give Jake Paul some bragging rights later. Francis Ngannou couldn't last 2 rounds. If Paul lasts 6, he can claim he's tougher than Ngannou. That shot right there just slapped the gloves. Joshua waited until Paul covered up before throwing it. Even so, the aftershock made Jake Paul's legs turn to jelly a few seconds later. He started doing a little dance. Change of camera angle. The pressure from this view is absolutely terrifying. In front of Paul, this tongue-wagging heavyweight champ really looked capable of homicide. Paul had no choice but to go for the double leg takedown again. Towards the end of the 5th round, Joshua finally dialed the power up from 30% to 50%. Looking to wrap things up, maybe he was worried the fans wouldn't be able to catch a cab if he kept going too late. Had to end it early. By round 6, Joshua cranked the power up to 60%, even without a clean, flush hit. The impact had Paul in a trance, floating around the ring. Those punches finally had some real intent behind them. Paul managed to dodge them, but Paul looked completely unhinged. Sticking out a pale tongue, it looked like he had a death wish, so Joshua decided to oblige him. This final punch finally had some mustard on it. Literally knocked Paul's hair into an afro, brain scrambled, knocked a row of teeth crooked, and cracked his jaw, fractured in 2 places, fight over. To be fair, Paul has said in the past that his teeth were already loose. He admitted that himself, but a punch cracking the jaw, breaking it in 2 places is still terrifying.